Okay, so I thought it was time that we did a series on this. Well, not necessarily a series, but more of just a video of how this has come together, how it's become to be. So a number of years ago now, probably 2 or 3 years back at least, obviously this started life as a normal Cozy Coupe, similar to this one. Obviously this has had the roof cut off, seen better days. But yeah, obviously it did look something like that. In fact, here's the original roof off of the one we're building. It was pink and blue. Yeah, it belonged to my daughter, and my son turned around to her and said, "You don't use it anymore, I'm building that." He'd obviously seen Little Tykes cars online that, you know, people had done numerous things with, and he decided to get into it. So here we go. I'm going to try and explain as best I can with the very short videos that I do have saved of how it's got to this stage. Here we go. So in order to construct these wide arches initially, the car started out with none of that. So these were built with dowel rods, literally glued to this body with a hot glue gun. These arches you see here, side skirts, were literally one sheet of cardboard that came up and over, you know, along and up and over. And that piece of cardboard was literally glued one side with a hot glue gun, piece of wooden dowel rod glued to the body of the car. Look, Max is wide arching this, look. Once we'd got that into position, we quite literally glued a piece of cardboard flat along the bottom. Yeah, look, Max has been working on the Cozy Coupe, so he's wide arched it. This is going to be his front splitter. Cardboard will probably be all trimmed back, but we had a Corsa GSI spoiler kicking around that I'd put a saw through, and the two side components that sort of come down each side of the rear window sit perfectly in there underneath all the filler and everything that there is now. So there you go, the two side pieces of that spoiler are in there, and the actual rear portion of that spoiler, or the top pole portion of that spoiler, is now going to become our little spoiler for the Cozy Coupe. So these here started out life as two pieces of just tile batten, some wood, that were glued in with resin into the cup holders. There used to be two cup holders here. Show you on the other one in a... There we go, two cup holders full of snails and horrible stuff. But there you go, that's how it was. These here were for the rear pillars to support the actual roof when it sat like that. So they've all been filled and glassed over. Yeah, so these were bonded in with some resin and whatnot, and we started to fiberglass round them. Then I found that the actual A-pillars from the original Cozy Coupe that would have come up here, those bits slotted straight over these bits of wood, and they create a more rounded look, save a lot of work. So we just bonded them in with some resin, filled round, smoothed it over, so where the rear pillars were, they're completely filled, and the cup holders completely filled. Okay, so about the wheels quickly then. So we've got nice deep dish rims. They started out life like this. There we go, look. They used to spin round and swivel, you know, like this. And in a nutshell, this is how we constructed them. So we got these original wheels and we cut them out, bought some cat or dog bowls, drilled a hole through the centre, and this one is very rusty, as you can see, because it was from the first evolution of this car being made. It probably got stored outside, washers went rusty inside, bin. So obviously we bought some new ones. They're about, I don't know, £1.20 each, I think. Drilled the hole through, threaded bar with nuts on the end. Now obviously these ones did spin round and moved, these ones don't. So how have we done it? So we've got some copper pipe. We drilled 15mm holes through the chassis, or through the actual main body of the car, front and rear. Okay, so this is all copper pipe sat in there. We then got some threaded bar, some lengths of threaded bar, poked them through either side, and then washers and nuts to hold it all in. That gives it the lowered look, sits right on the deck, and as you can see, looks far better than what that. So here we go then, the dashboard. Max, my son, was keen to retain the key. It is a car after all. So these obviously were part of the original A-pillars that held up the roof of the car. They came up here. So we filled all those in. We tried to retain the dashboard look with the key, you know. I have been painting the steering wheel. I don't think I'm going to keep it this colour. I've got another idea with the colour that we're doing with this. But yes, steering wheel will obviously slot back in as normal. Quick shot of when we put the resin and the fiberglass matting over the top of the masking tape that we'd got under here. Obviously we put the dowels down, then over between the dowels we put the masking tape, and then we've obviously fiberglassed over the top. So yeah, there's the exhausts for the back end. The rear diffuser all, again, this was just cardboard that was you know, glued in position with a hot glue gun. Then we put masking tape over the top of it before we fiberglassed. So that's how we did all these. Masking tape over the top of the wooden dowels, laid the fiberglass matting down and obviously resined over it. Wait till it went hard, added the filler and squared it all off with a sanding block. So that's how the back end now looks. A lot better than what was on the original, as you can tell. One of the hardest things to do when filling this was getting into the corners, because we've got some quite rough fiberglass and resin edges here. So took it down to my good mate Loz at Loz's Customs, who's building the Corsa for us, and got him in there with a finger file just to sort of flatten that off. Now I can get in there with a bit of fiberglass, it's a bit smoother to be able to work with. So that's been great, fantastic, really appreciated it. Right, okay, so yeah, from the rear perspective with the wing on, there you go. Now with this, again, these were just cardboard templates cut out and just glued onto the end of the GSI spoiler, and then, you know, quite simply, there's a bit of resin just to strengthen them, and then fiberglass over, filler over the top of them, smooth them off. Still need a little bit of work, but it's taken shape. So that's that. What else can we add to this? Oh look, spoiler alert, quite literally. That was not intended to be a pun until I said it, and then I thought, oh well, might as well go with it now. Yeah, charisma spoiler. Watch this space. No, it's not for this. So yeah, we have got a little clip actually of us commenting on how excellent our filler skills, well, not filler skills, they were more resin skills and fiberglassing skills were, because this used to be a door here, and it's been filled over. If we look inside, just here, you can see there used to be a little catch here that held the door shut, and you can see the door shut there. I don't think I'm going to delete all that. I'm just going to leave it as was. Concentrate on doing the bodywork outside the car. I don't really want to touch too much in here. It just gets too fiddly trying to work in there, and it detracts from what I'm trying to do with spending time on getting it looking fairly finished. So there you go. Yes, I'll insert that little clip of us laughing about how terribly this was filled. There was a fuel cap here, and you'll see that in the video also.
Check out the fiberglass.
Look at that fiberglass. Look at the fiberglassing skills on this. Look at that.
Better than them wind turbines, that.
As you can see, the resin was dripped everywhere. So we've done our best to disguise that with a bit of filler. It's still a bit lumpy. It probably could have done with sanding off a lot harder, but I haven't got the time and patience to mess around with it any more than I have done. This has got hundreds of man hours put into this now, I think. You know, I should take shares out in Newpole really with the amount of filler that's put on it. I think we used maybe about 10 litres of resin. Obviously lots of fiberglass matting to create everything and make it go solid and join it to the actual body of the car. Underneath you saw it was quite a mess still. We've not really concentrated on tidying that up, no need. This is the bit that you, the business end, the bit that you see. But yeah, I think that, you know, there is a number of these knocking around on the internet which are have been created. A lot of them are quite simply one of these with some 3D printed items stuck onto them, and they commanded some silly money. And I'm thinking, wow, the amount of time that's gone into this, you know, if I was going to put a price on it, it'd be 10 times the price. Let me see if I can find you a picture of some of the ones that people have been knocking out on the internet. Anyway, I'm going to leave that video there, I think, to be honest with you. You've seen the car. It will be unveiled at the reunion show. I'm not going to give away anything that the colours, you know, what colour it's going to be. I'd rather, you know, let you come to the show and find that out for yourselves. Would love to see if, you know, any of the builds that you are doing. Hopefully we can get as many as we can there. That's why Mark's opened this up to become a build-off. You know, we don't expect to go there and win anything. You know, we've purely done it for the fun of it, you know, because we love the show, we want to support it. So yeah, let's see yours, and all be revealed. So there we have it, the Cozy Coupe that we have built for the reunion show. One last thing I will do is shove up a whole montage of little still shots and little videos that we have made along the way that I can't really put into the main video because I just don't know where to slot them in. But they are all sort of steps along the way that we've, you know, helped create this car. Thanks for watching. You know, please share the video, like the video, do what you need to do. Get some comments in there. Let me hear about yours. I want to know what you are building and what it's going to look like. And hit me up on social media, on Instagram and whatnot, and send me some pictures. Would really like to see them. If I don't see them, I'll see them at the show.